What's going on, everyone? In this video we're talking about pre-exhaustion. I'll tell you all the exercises that can be combined together for optimal results. If your goal is building muscle mass, putting some quality mass on, being jacked, you should definitely consider pre-exhaustion. All right, if you don't know what it means, it's super simple. Fatiguing a muscle before reaching the compound movement, fatiguing, pre-exhausting, pre-fatiguing a muscle before reaching the heavy big lift. Arnold and his peers used to do it. The Menzer brothers, top plats. It got super big during the golden era, and now people are realizing that, hey, what a good way to build muscle mass. All right, why it all started? Well, when you go to the bench press, you just started on the bench press, all right? You're benching and you reach failure on the bench press. Well, let me tell you that it's not your chest that is failing, but rather your triceps and your shoulders, because those are smaller muscles. They're weaker, so they have less capacity of lifting. So that's why they're failing before your chest. So you're failing on the bench press, but your chest still have a lot more to go, but you couldn't reach chest failure, all right? So what those golden era bodybuilders started doing was isolating that muscle, getting it a little bit fatigued, so by the time they reach the bench press, the chest is already fatigued. Maybe they did flies before. All right, I'll tell you all the combination a little bit later on, but let's say you start with pec deck flies, fatigue that chest, and now you're arriving at your bench press, your chest is already maybe at 30% capacity, 30% fatigued. So now your chest and your triceps and your shoulders will all fail at the same time, and you'll get a lot more out of your bench press. All right, so they started using that technique, and trust me, when I started using it, it just did wonders. That's the only way I work out now. Yes, it does hit my ego because I'm not benching as heavy, but if your goal is building muscle mass and not lifting heavy weight to impress all the gym bros or getting stronger at lifts, which is fair enough. Well, if you want to get stronger at lift and your goal is powerlifting, then don't do pre-exhaustion. But if your goal is building muscle mass, muscle hypertrophy, growing muscle mass, trust me, you won't look back after pre-exhaustion. All right, first couple times you do it, it will affect you mentally, because you'll be like, damn, I'm just benching 135, but my chest is on fire. But then once you start seeing the growth, you'll be more than happy. All right, so the combination, like I said, it's an isolation exercise before jumping on the compound movement. So for the chest, it could be a pec deck fly. That's my favorite combination. Pec deck fly with a bench press. All right. It could also be cable crossover with a bench press or an incline press. You could do depending on what you're trying to work on the most. So a fly with a press, a fly with a bench press. Now moving on, we have the legs. All right. So leg extension, superset with squats. Or it doesn't need to be a superset. Yes, I know. I'm going back on my words. So we did say that they were doing it as a superset during the golden era, and that's how I do it now. But now a lot of bodybuilders don't do it as a superset, but they rather do the 3-4 sets of that isolation, and then they move on to the big lift. But they're still pre-fatiguing because they did fatigue it. It was working sets. It's not warm-ups. Somebody asked me a good question. He said, well, it's like warm-up. No, because it's working set. You're also getting that muscle fatigue, and you're reaching muscle failure when you're doing your isolation as well. All right, so it's not a warm-up, it's a real set. So nowadays people do it more of a single set on its own before jumping on the compound movement later on. Back in the days, and how I like to do it, they were doing it in a part of a superset. All right, just to clear that out, you can do it both ways. Go with whatever you like. Okay, so legs, you can do leg extension and squats. So you can start with leg extension, because a lot of time you're squatting, well, it's not your quads that are failing down. It's not your quads that is on fire at the end of your squats. A lot of people would squat and they won't even feel their quads. And that is why if you do your leg extension first and then you go on the squat, trust me, you'll feel that crazy burn and pump on your quads. Also, another benefit of pre-exhaustion is that you're turning on that muscle. All right, a lot of people will squat or bench right away. They don't feel their chest, they feel their shoulders and triceps because they didn't activate that chest. But by turning it on with the flies, with the isolation before you're activating it, so now you have a better mind-muscle connection on your chest when you're benching. So even more gains, more mind-muscle connection, you're connecting better, you're able to really engage those fibers better. The pump is there, there's more blood flow, less risk of injury. The only drawback is that you're lifting less weight, but who cares, all right? So For back, what I would do for back, I would do a lot of a standing pull over. All right, trust me, a standing pull over, it's amazing, worked wonder for me to pre-exhaust my back. I would do it on a cable with a bar, a standing pull over. I would do like 4 or 5 sets of 20 reps, get a lot of blood, but also fatigue those lats before jumping on my rows. All right, by the time I reach my rows, I'm feeling my lats like crazy. But if I would just start right away with the dumbbell rows, of course I'm not gonna feel my lats. I'll feel it all over my rear delt and my biceps. All right, moving on. People that want to train their hamstrings, well, they can start pre-exhausting with seated hamstring curls and then do the stiff leg deadlift. A lot of people don't feel their hamstring when they do the stiff leg deadlift, and just when some of my clients, I'll tell them, all right, let's put the seated hamstring curl before. What this does is that it starts activating, get more blood flow in the hamstring. The person starts connecting with the hamstring, and by the time you reach your stiff leg deadlift, you need less weight, so less risk of injury on your lower back, and you're connecting a lot more. Now, shoulders, lateral raises, superset with barbell press. My favorite. Lateral raise, start with lateral raise. Yes, it might sound crazy because it's counterproductive. You're not gonna press as heavy, but try it. Lateral raises and then go right away, boom, do your presses. Not the other way around. Start with lateral raises. Trust me, you'll feel a crazy burn. Some people also like doing upright rows with shoulder presses. I was reading that book that a friend of mine got me. It's basically Mike Metzger's training plan, it's just great. No, sorry, Joe Weider's training method, and it shows all the golden era bodybuilders workouts, and trust me, they were all doing that. All right, they were all doing that. If you think that Arnold was bench pressing 600 pounds and he was going for 4 reps and 5-minute rest in between, you're wrong. All right, weights are just a tool to help you reach a desired outcome, which is building muscle. All right, so Arnold used to be a big fan of giant sets. He would do, let's say, shoulder presses, side raises, rear delts, and then go on doing pullovers for upright rows, get a crazy burn, and that's what works best. Hit your muscles once it's fatigued. You want to fatigue it, you want to keep hitting it, get it to failure in all certain angles. If you can't do any more side raises, do front raises. Now your front is already fatigued, you're getting more time under tension, and that's what will help you grow muscle mass. All right, moving on. For biceps, well, can you really pre-exhaust for biceps? Not really, because it's already a small muscle. So I think I did the whole thing. Yeah, for chest, legs, hamstrings, back. I love doing the cable pullover. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it. Pre-exhaustion works. Trust me, it's been a game changer for me, for my clients that really implemented it seriously. And so much better for you, lower risk of injury, you're getting a better pump at the gym, your workouts are more efficient because they're shorter but more intense, and that's what Mike Metzer used to do. Now everybody's like, Mike Metzer heavy duty program. Well, that's how he used to train. All right, so if you really want to train like Mike Metzer, pre-exhaust. So there you have it, guys. If you have any other question, let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Ciao.